It's, whatever you want to talk about.
Let's rock on.
I'll try everything that you all got, man. At least once.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Outside the Box Stories. I'm with my good friend Jerry Smith today, and Jerry just came into the studio. We call this Studio 1A. It's right behind the Performance Medicine of Kingsport office, and Jerry comes in, and I just immediately start smiling because you got an energy about you, man.
Well, thanks, Ben.
You do, man. Like, you got an energy about you. I'm so excited to get to talk to you because what's interesting about my situation is that I live in Knoxville, and my whole family lives in the Tri-Cities, and we all work with performance medicine. And so I get to hear all these stories about, people that my family loves, and I feel like I know you, and yet I bet I can count on one hand the number of conversations you and I have actually got to have.
That's correct. I've spent a lot of time with your father, though, Ben.
I know, and that's, we're going to have to talk a little bit about that off camera, which I'm excited about. But it's just good to get to talk to you, and it feels like whenever I bring on a Kingsport patient, I have to put them on camera just to get to know them, and you kind of fit in that category. I feel like you're a friend of mine.
Yeah, well, keep in mind, we love Kingsport. There's plenty of available properties downtown, and we can move you back anytime.
Hey, that's tempting, actually. That's tempting. So Jerry, one thing we wanted to talk about today, this is outside the box stories, and I feel like you've got an outside the box story in your health journey. Can you just tell us, how did you come across, some of the stuff that performance medicine does? What brought you here?
Well, happened probably about 3 years ago. I was feeling tired, didn't have any energy, wasn't sleeping well. Went in and seen Dr. Rogers, and he said, "Well, hey, let's check your T level." Mm-hmm. Well, he done a blood panel, blood screen, and he came back, and my T level was extremely low, something like 200. Mm-hmm. And I opted to take the pellets instead of the shots because I can't commit to being here every Friday for a shot or every Thursday for a shot. I forget. So what I did, I said, let's do the pellets. Within 3 weeks, I was sleeping a full night. My energy levels were back. Everything changes with that. Good things, actually. And so what I started doing was, after I got in a regimen, I started doing the pellets. I think they're supposed to be done every 4 months. We adjusted mine after a couple of runs to 3 months. And I've been on them ever since. I can tell a huge difference if I don't come in and get them right there when I'm supposed to. My energy levels drop. I don't sleep as well. Mm-hmm. It's money well spent.
Well, let me ask you. You mentioned you came in because you're feeling tired, and immediately the first thing you guys did was check your T levels. Was that something that you'd considered before, as far as just checking T levels? Because to me, it seems very normal, just given, my environment. But, for you coming in, you're probably new to performance medicine. Did you ever think about checking your T levels before?
Ben, I didn't know what a T level was. I had never. I started reading about it, obviously, afterwards. I didn't know what a T level was. Mm-hmm. I hadn't been to a doctor probably in 4 or 5 years, and no, I didn't know what. Didn't know what I was doing.
So what's interesting to me is you said you were feeling tired, you weren't sleeping well, you're noticing all these symptoms. How long did you let that go, and why? Because you hadn't been to the doctor in 4 or 5 years.
Right. It'd been going on 3+ years, and to be honest with you, I thought it was just part of getting old.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I said, well, this is the way I'm going to feel the rest of my life. Get used to it. I had no idea that I was going to flip the page.
So when you said that, this is how it goes. This is what, my dad went through. This is what my older brother went through. Is it kind of just a stage of just accepting that this is the way it is? And, you seem like a strong dude. Just kind of, use the willpower to get through the day.
Right. That's what I did. I come home around 6 o'clock. If I sit down on the couch, my evening was over. Now I can sit down on the couch, get back up, and function till 9, 10 o'clock at night. I could not do that before, ever.
Super fascinating, by the way, because that's something that, a very common thing Dr. Rogers will talk about is, what's your motivation like? What's your productivity like when you sit down on the couch after a long day's work? Are you done for the night? It's a very common thing for once you sit down, day's over. Now I want to ask you, what were your thoughts when Dr. Rogers came up with this? Hey, we need to check your T level. This seems super, common, low T sort of symptoms. What was your thought process there?
Well, I had spoken with a couple of these other patients whom I go to church with, and they had highly recommended that as well. Mm-hmm. And when he suggested, I was all in.
Okay. So it wasn't like hey, I'm going to, check in on this. I'm going to check in on this pellet thing or this testosterone therapy thing. Is that kind of, so you're just like, I'll do whatever.
That's right. And, I was so excited after talking to him, I wanted to get the pellets that day. Obviously, we had to wait till the blood work came back. And I'd heard horror stories about pellets. I mean, how they put them in and everything. You don't even know it.
So let's dig into that, because I find I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. What were some of the stories you were hearing prior to actually getting on pellets?
Oh, they cut you about that far, and then they, put them in with a straw that's about that big around. Well, in all reality, you don't even know it's happening.
Yeah.
I'll tell you to the degree it did. For my close friends and I, the first time I had it done, we videoed it and sent it out to everybody. And hey, 3 more people came in doing pellets now, and that's been several years ago. So
just so everybody know, that video is not widely available. No one will be able to watch that. But that's fascinating, though, like in the sense that it really helps if you know somebody who went through it and can kind of walk you through, hey, it's not that bad. So the actual procedure was something that held you back.
Yes, but truthfully, you don't even know it's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that easy.
That's super fascinating. And you're saying that it took about 3 months to start feeling like yourself again?
No, about 3 weeks.
About 3 weeks.
It took now he did give me a testosterone shot to sort of boost it initially. In about 3 weeks, I started telling a huge difference.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been on pellets now?
Probably close to 4 years.
Really?
Yes.
Have you noticed anything in terms of the way you feel, a dip or anything like that, based on, hey, I've been doing this a long time, maybe my body's getting used to it? Just out of total curiosity.
Absolutely not.
That's interesting.
Now, here's another thing. I was looking today before I came in to speak with you. The time's getting ready to change next month.
Okay.
I need that energy boost. I got to make sure I'm right on point. Don't want to hit that little lag period if my pellets are due and I put them off a couple of weeks, and then here I got all this additional time in the afternoon and I don't have the energy to do anything. So I'm in pretty good shape, though. I got about another month.
So how do you actually keep up with the timing of it all? It seems like you're putting a lot of emphasis on the timing of when you get your pellets. Well, how do you go about that?
What I do is when we put the pellets in, we check my T level in about 3 months, and about 2.5 months, and that gauges us exactly where we need to be. Mm-hmm. And usually I do mine every 3 months, and that's the way it's been since the beginning.
Okay. So you kind of notice, okay, this is what sequence really works for me.
That's correct.
And then you become religious about that sequence.
Oh yes.
That's super fascinating.
You don't want to hit that dip. Or I don't.
You know what? It also seems you're religious about is that beard you're growing.
Well, it's 2 years.
Is that 2 years?
Yes.
Really? What's the plans for it?
I don't know. I just thought I would save some money. I haven't shaved or cut my hair in 2 years. That's $20 every time I go to the barber. I've saved a lot. I've saved to pay my pellets. Yeah.
So you're surely putting some beard oil in it.
I am.
You almost have to. I've had a long beard before, and it can, you need to take care of it.
Yeah, I do.
If you guys can't tell on camera, it's actually very well groomed. Do you think with a long beard that it would be a messy sort of perception? But I'm up close with you right now, and it's very sharp.
Well, the biggest decision I make when I go to bed is it on the outside of the cover or on the inside.
For all you bearded people out there, take that. That's good advice.
Hey, and Dr. Rogers can give you medicine to make your hair grow, your beard grow.
Actually, you know what? Before we turn the recorder on, you were telling me about PRP and
Yes.
your experience with it. Let's just talk about it. We don't talk enough about PRP, and you've had some success with it.
Well, first off, my father, who's close to 80-year-old, was going to go get a knee replacement. And I was explaining to your father that, hey, my dad's getting ready to go get a knee replacement. He said, no. I know your father. Let's bring him in for PRP. And after his second treatment, my father no longer needs a knee replacement.
It's incredible.
And so I started asking Doc, what all does this PRP do? He says, after reading the list of things, and then I started worrying about the cost. I saw where PRP was north of $2,000 in every other market. Here, it's a fourth of that.
Right.
And I was going to Atlanta to get hair plugs. I'm not going to die bald. Will not. Not going to happen. And Dr. Rogers said, hey, let's try it. What you got to lose?
Yeah.
Sure, I did it. I've done 2 treatments, maybe 3. 2, I think. And it's been great.
What's been the time frame on those before you started seeing results?
Well, after the first one, I didn't see anything for what I thought. I thought, well, this ain't gonna work. But I came back. He said, let's 2 times. After the second one, it was a lot of growth here. I mean, just made a big difference.
That's
huge
incredible.
difference.
It's got to be a good feeling though to be able to see the results like that. You know, same thing with the pellets. It's, you know, when you can see, okay, I was at A and now I'm at B. It's got to be fulfilling.
Well, it was nice to know that you could grow hair again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sort of obviously I was worried about it. I was going to pay $18,000 in Atlanta to have plugs done. So I mean, the $500-600 for the PRP was nothing compared to what I was committing to there.
That's awesome.
And not to mention the travel, the treatment.
Right.
And I'm much more satisfied with this. And I'll be getting another one here in a couple weeks.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I want to change gears real fast here because we're running out of time. You mentioned to me that you hadn't gone to the doctor in 4 to 5 years. And I know that there's people out there, whether it's a wife who's watching or whether it's a man who, you know, doesn't know what to do. There's a lot of men who I think avoid going to the doctor. What can you say to those people in terms of, you know, taking care of their own health? Like, where's that switch been for you?
Well, when I came in and Doc said, let's just, obviously he wanted to do a blood panel to see exactly where everything was at. And I just thought he was checking my T level
Sure.
to see, but he said, you know, he went over my cholesterol, everything that I'd been ignoring for the last 5 to 10 years. And with that being said, we've put me on vitamins. Didn't need any other medical attention other than vitamins and stuff that controlled everything that was low. And I'm sure that's played a role in how I feel, but everything was out of check.
Yeah.
There was nothing in line.
Yeah. Well, it's just fascinating because, I mean, you're a manly dude. And I think a lot of people, you know, think that either there's a stubbornness, I think, with men. I can relate. Like, you don't want to admit or that you need to take care of yourself, or, you know, maybe you're so focused on, you know, providing or being a good husband, or you got all these responsibilities. You know, can you speak to that a little bit? Because I'm super impressed that you took control of your health the way that you did.
What you tend to do is you ignore it. First off, if you're in your 50s, I'm 52, and I'm coming from that area where I never needed a doctor, really. Now I'm going to be needing a doctor probably from here till the time I leave here, and it's a transitional period.
Yeah.
And I don't like doctors. I don't like to go sit in waiting rooms. I don't like appointments.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Rogers changed all that. You come in, you're in quick. He spends more than enough time with you, probably telling you more than what you want to know about yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
And you leave here feeling really good about yourself because not only does he encourage you to do what you need to do, he gives you a good history of where you've come from. He reflects back every time,
Yeah.
and where you're going.
Is there like a confidence that comes with that? Just in your own life, you feel confident about where your health is at?
Well, absolutely. When you leave here, hey, you know, I always ask for a lifetime warranty. He only gives me an extended warranty, but it works. I mean, it works.
I love it. Well, Jerry, this has been so much fun, and I can't tell you how. Just for one, you know, you're talking so amazing about my dad, and I really appreciate that. I'm biased, and I love getting to hear stories from people like you, and also just for for you to tell your story to the people out here watching. If it connects with one person, then this time was well spent. So I really do appreciate it.
Well, your dad's changed everything, the way I feel, the way I think. I mean, I'm happy to do it anytime.
Jerry Smith. Guys, this has been Outside the Box Stories. I'm with my good friend Jerry. Thank you guys for watching.